The United States is preparing to enter into open confrontation with Iran. Defense Secretary has officially confirmed the deployment of 5th-generation fighter jets to the Middle East. In parallel, large-scale logistics are being set up. At least 32 tanker aircraft have already arrived, with up to 2,000 more following. In terms of scale, this is the largest US force grouping in the region since the Iraq War, excluding carrier strike groups. The deployment of F-22s and F-35s points to a specific objective: overcoming the remnants of Iran's layered air defense system and gaining direct access to deeply protected targets, including the underground facility in Fordow, which Israel has so far failed to penetrate. Israel has done its part. It delivered the first strike, destabilized the vertical chain of command, tested the air defenses, and disabled part of the leadership. But the key task to neutralize the strategic infrastructure of Iran's nuclear program remains unfulfilled. Donald Trump did what he does best. He translated the issue of a possible war into format of personal ultimatum. He stated that the US knows the exact location of Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei and emphasized he will not be eliminated, at least for now. In other words, it is not ruled out, just postponed. Then comes the classic pressure framework. Trump says he does not want to involve the American military in the Iranian conflict, but Washington's patience is running out. The final court, a demand for Iran's unconditional surrender. Not negotiations, not agreements, not a freeze, surrender. This is the usual language of strategic American dialogue in ultimatum form, framed through a personal political presentation. Formally, this is not a declaration of war, but a signal of readiness for any escalation if Tehran does not back down and lie down to die. It is telling that all this is being presented through public statements not tied to the mechanics of the Security Council, the Pentagon, the State Department, the UN, or other organization that supposedly decided something in this world. Trump has essentially voiced a doctrine of coercing Iran into surrender under the threat of targeted leadership elimination and full-scale military operation, but wrapped it in the guise of extreme restraint. This has nothing to do with diplomacy. Trump's new ultimatum to Iran is deliberately presented in such a way that Iran cannot possibly accept it. Therefore, Iran must already begin preparing for direct confrontation with the US, including being ready to strike American targets in the region and to block the Strait of Hormuz. What is happening clearly demonstrates that only the possession of nuclear weapons provides any kind of guarantees in this world. Let me remind you that when Trump was preparing for elections, he promised he would end wars, that he would save people by ending wars that hadn't even started. He criticized the war in Iraq, denounced the fact that Hussein had no weapons of mass destruction. And now he is threatening to go to war against Iran, despite the fact that American intelligence denies Iran is developing any nuclear weapons.
They lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass.
Okay.
Information from a high-ranking Iraqi nuclear engineer who had defected revealed that despite his public promises, Saddam Hussein had ordered his nuclear program to continue. The evidence indicates that Iraq is reconstituting its nuclear weapons program.
Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.